Now, in this episode, we're going to look at a very infamous prediction from a very, very well-known economist, someone who actually won the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics. Now, as I described in the first episode of this series, science and technology has these 7 layers, basic research all the way down to marketing and sales, and that's why research in physics, chemistry, etc. get converted into technology products that we all consume and are available to the mass market. Whereas in economics, you have these very theoretical economists, then a huge vacuum in between, and then you have real-world finance. All those layers that we saw in science and technology are just not present over here, which is why a lot of economists seem to think that they have expertise to span this entire gap when they don't. So the first example I'm going to use is a very famous one. Paul Krugman is a well-known economist who appears on television, who is known to millions of people, and won the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences. So very well known. Probably among average people, the most well-known PhD economist in at least the United States and possibly the world. And he said in 1998 mind you, that by 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. He said that in 1998. That would be a bad prediction even from 1988 when there already were modems and a telnet, Usenet type of internet. From 1978, that could be forgiven because he's not a futurist. But in 1998, when we already had Amazon and eBay and many search engines, we already had e-commerce, people were buying things online. We already had emails and even music available online. You had communities and message boards and user groups. And yet he said that the impact of the internet on the economy will be no more than the fax machine. 1998. And remember, other futurists and business leaders of the time made much better predictions. Ray Kurzweil wrote The Age of Spiritual Machines in 1999 and made a lot of predictions that were much, much better than what Paul Krugman came up with. I reviewed that book in this video up here in the upper right-hand corner. Business leaders such as Bill Gates, Andy Grove, etc., who were the topmost people in the technology industry at the time, also made predictions that were much more optimistic and therefore much more accurate regarding the internet and technology in general. But this PhD economist said something so profoundly bad that it beggars the mind how these theoretical people think they have any business talking about the real world economy, because they're very theoretical. What he'd won a Nobel Prize about was also very theoretical, and to be this bad at predictions, but to be so confident as to state this publicly is really something else. Now, a lot of U.S. Republicans and conservatives like to point out that Paul Krugman is loyal to the Democrat Party, so that's why his prediction is bad. But no, that's not the reason his prediction is bad. His prediction is terrible because he's a PhD economist, not because he is a Democrat or leftist. Because U.S. conservatives and Republicans have made a prediction that is equally bad and will be ridiculed to the same degree. In early 2023, the cover story of the National Review was how electric cars are simply not going to work, the false promise of electric cars. This is something that could have been forgiven if it were said in 2003, but he said it in 2023, and a large portion of conservatives and Republicans have this view about electric cars, even though there are already 15 to 18% of new car sales worldwide. So this prediction is just as bad as Paul Krugman's prediction, but for different reasons. This is not made by PhD economists. This is made by conservatives who think just because something was technologically impossible in 2003 or 1979, therefore it will be impossible forever. So to make this a National Review cover story is a prediction that will be just as infamous over the same time period as Paul Krugman's predictions. 7 years from now, this will also be laughed at. So Paul Krugman's embarrassing prediction is because he is a PhD economist, not because he is a Democrat or leftist, because in the United States, both political parties are equally bad at making any type of predictions of these natures. Thanks for watching.